Venice Nights Online. My name is Paul. Who am I hanging out with today?
My name is Aaron Kelly.
Aaron Kelly, it is a pleasure to speak with you today, my friend. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your profession?
So I am a singer-songwriter. I've been singing since 9 years old, professionally. Done some pretty cool things in my career, and yeah,
So you started when you were 9.
I started at 9 years old professionally. Yep.
So was this like I knew when I was 9, I loved not going to school and taking naps. Like that was my jam, that was my thing. Was it the same for you with music when you were 9?
I definitely. So it all stemmed from a talent show in school, and all these kids were singing or doing little different things, and I had always sang, like in the car or whatever, or at like family gatherings, and people were always he's for a kid, he's like good, like he's kind of good. So, and then I found my passion and loved to sing karaoke. That was like the very start of it for me. It was like, and it was funny because my mom would pick me up from school. I had my own songbook of CDs, the songs that I sang. And that was it. And of course, I had to do all my homework and stuff. But like once that was out of the way, we would go and karaoke it up and do competitions, and then started booking shows and stuff. And like it, you know, the rest is history, I guess.
The rest is history and the future. It is still the future.
It is still.
So 9 years old, so you kind of got, you're in a talent show. Like I saw the same stuff, and when I got on stage, they didn't let me back on.
Oh,
Did you get a Did you get a different response?
yeah, standing ovation.
Oh, that must a little
I'm
bit
kidding.
different in our talent level there, Aaron.
I'm
Maybe.
not kidding. I remember I was in second grade. And I remember after I sang, and it's funny because it was young kids, but I remember like being picked up. I think in my head I imagined it like was like what I had seen crowd surfing
Mhm.
as a kid. Like to be, I doubt it. I actually crowd surfed. It was probably just like a bunch of kids picking me up, and it felt like I was crowd surfing. After I sang, I wasn't actually crowd surfing. That's what it felt like to little me.
Understood. Understood.
But yeah. So and then of course I did American Idol, and but I would say like my very first um from the talent show, and then I was 11 when I went to Nashville for the first time, and like got to do like the recording studio experience and all that, and it's just crazy to like look back, but like I'm 32 now, and that's still my life. It's just um it's that's my life. Like it's like riding a bicycle. If
Hmm.
that makes sense. Like it's just something that I do. It's something that I'm used to. I can't imagine my life without it because I've been doing it for so long. Um, like just like washing your hands. You know what I mean? Like this is what I do. This is what I do in
Very
my life.
nice. So, you reek of 1,000 performances when I see you.
You're welcome. No,
But that,
performance my favorite.
just a huge compliment because
Thank
I
you.
remember the first time I saw you, and like, I kind of fanned out. I had pulled my phone out, and you took me into a concert, and you brought the energy, if that makes sense. There was no energy in the room. You grabbed a mic and you said, "You know what? Let's turn this thing up." And you did. Where do you pull that from?
So this is funny because I've been asked this question two other times this week, and one of them is by an artist. She's just starting out. She's very, very new, but she's so hungry. And she said, the one thing that I noticed about you is there can be nobody in the room, and um, you still perform as the like how do you do that? Where do you pull that from? And for me, the reason that I sing and the reason I perform is because it's something that I'm just so passionate about. I love doing it, and it's personal. It has nothing to do with the people in the room. So when I get on a stage, no matter what it is, it could be the back of a truck bed. That is a stage. It is a performance. That's what I'm there to do. And I just, it's such an internal thing. It's like a light bulb goes on, and that is who I am from the minute I open my mouth to the second I walk off of that stage. It is just, it's not an act. It just is. I'm not, when I go on stage, I'm just enjoying and loving every second of that moment and being in it.
Mm. Do you think a lot of it has to go because you know how bright those lights can be, or how full and how big that stage could feel, to where instead of plugging into the room, you just plug into that microphone?
Well, I think about, for me, it's like there's a gratitude within me that uh, what I do for a living is like, it's not like a normal profession. And I guess I feel really grateful because I have worked in multiple 9 to 5 jobs where I absolutely hate it. Like I remember, and then I'll hear people talk about it. Like, yeah, I actually am at a place now where I'm like, no, I absolutely love my career. I absolutely love what I do. So, and I think too, like I can turn it on and be like, God bless. I have any reason to be grateful to be here today, like loving every moment of this moment. And it's just really easy to love what I do. And I guess at the same time too, like I don't want to sit back and like fall asleep on it, where
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of like that, like this is the job, getting on like I hate this, and I don't ever want to convey that to the audience. Too, because I want to say too, like one of the best things about being an entertainer is that the people who are watching me are watching me, and if you're not, you're going to. Like, there's no option. There's no option for me. It's like, no, I'm not wallpaper. Like, I am here. You are going to see me.
You come with perks, and
I'm
you
going
and you
to
know
make sure
this.
of that. Yeah, like, no. You're going to listen. I am here. Like, and it's funny because, like, you'll get some venues where they're like, we want it to be quiet. Let's play back. I'm like, well, that's not me. So, you got the wrong guy. Because it is, a part of being an entertainer is being entertaining. So, and otherwise, what are we even doing here? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Your professionalism, your energy. Where do you draw the inspiration from? Doing this from 9, you've had like. I compare my life to chicken wings. All right, every day is different, but every day is a different flavor. I can have chicken wings every day.
I get that.
You got to change up the flavors, okay? And again, as an entertainer, I know you do this where you feel the room, you feel the temperature, and you can adjust the entire set. Where do you pull that from, or I guess, what's your favorite genre?
I would say it's more about making it personal. Like you say, like if we look at life like it's chicken wings. See, I like a smorgasbord of flavors. I want I'm the guy that goes and orders chicken wings, and I'm like, can I get like 6 of them this flavor, and then 6 of them this flavor, and like all the ranch in the world. It part of that too is so like I am a country boy. I grew up singing country music, and that's my passion, that's my love. But one of my favorite abilities as an artist is that I can sing anything I want. I can sing, and I think for me, when I'm picking out songs, like when I'm doing cover songs, I love showing myself, like proving to myself what my vocal ability is, and I continue to surprise myself every day
Mm.
with it. And it's it's a matter of just like experimenting with different songs, and you come across a lot of music, and also trying everything.
Mm.
Like, um, so it's very interesting, and I still take this. When I did American Idol, I auditioned with "The Climb" by Miley Cyrus, but when I originally picked my song, I was singing a Keith Urban song, "Tonight I'm Gonna Cry," which is a slow song, and I just remember it was right before I walked in front of the judges for the first time, about in front of like Simon and Randy and those guys. It was before I walked through those doors. And you have a little bit of time to stand there and like contemplate your life, and here 16-year-old me is like going, oh my God, I'm never gonna be like this in my life. And there was that little voice that just kept saying, kept saying, kept saying, this is the right song choice. This isn't the right song choice. You've been singing "The Climb" all morning. You just kept saying it. You sang it when you were like getting ready in the shower. That's what you were saying all morning. That's what you sang. So the second I walked in, they said, "This is your ex. You're gonna stand right here." They're looking at me. Cameras go, you know, and I sang "The Climb," and it changed my life. But I would say, to go back to your question, experimenting with songs, gender. Um, don't not sing a song because you're a guy and a girl sings it, and vice versa. Like, I think challenging ourselves, and part of what's so great about being an artist and artistry is that we are the creators. We get to play with the nuances, the instrumentation or production, if you will. We get to say, hey, I would love to do this rap song, but what's it going to sound like country? You know what I mean? What if I use like mandolins and fiddles, and instead of like a heavy uh, beat? You know what I mean? Like, we get to decide those factors um, within our show, and so it's just always fun. It's always fun. It's supposed to be fun.
You have fun doing
Um,
this. I can tell just by your
I love
answer.
it. I
Holy
love
smokes. I mean, you are the chef experimenting with different chicken wing sauces right
it.
there.
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's part of the fun of it is like we get to create and decide who we are as the artist, and that's part of like figuring out yourself. Because again, I don't look at this like it's a job. I mean, of course, it is
Mhm.
a job. It's my career, and I make my livelihood. But at the end of the day, it is my number one passion in life. Like, I haven't really. I've done other things, but this is the thing that I always go back to, and I wake up thinking about it. Same as going when I go to bed at night. It's like, it's always there. It's always on my mind.
You're not working if you're smiling, man.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
and that's what I try to find is, as long I might work a lot, but it's hard to find when I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. Let's go back to when you're in front of those judges. All right,
Oh
because
yeah,
me at home, my stomach drops, palms start sweating, and I just can't take it, man.
it's
Tell me,
funny.
bring me back to that. Oh, what's that like? And
Um,
how did that prepare you and give you the confidence to make decisions today?
so I would say back then I was so young, and I want to say that like even everything, because starting at 9, when I auditioned on Idol, and going through that 16 and 17, so like it was such a it didn't matter what I had done in my musical career prior, because it was nothing
Hmm.
like Hollywood, or being on camera, or there was absolutely nothing that I had experienced that could prepare me for that um, situation. And so at that time in my life, I I really struggled with confidence. And it actually had nothing to do with um, like not believing in myself. It was still, you're very impressionable at a young age, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
everybody has an opinion about oh, if you would just sing this, I know it's what would make you win. Or if you would just wear this, if you wouldn't wear that, if you do your hair this way. And at that, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just here. I'm just here.
You're
Like,
literally being judged, man. Like, you're
it's
being judged literally in front of a bazillion people when my
30
mama
million.
told
I
me
remember we had
not to judge
30
people.
million viewers. And in one night they told us, they had the producers come up and they're like, there's 30 million people watching tonight. They, because they can see that stuff. And I remember thinking, I never let go of that. And from the moment you hear that, it is live. So you hear that like trigger music, you're like, oh, I can still hear it, in my dreams. Like, like we're live. But like looking back now, like I remember that there was no actual thought process going through my head. It was just like, you're here. This is the X. This is your song. Don't mess up the words. Don't screw it up. Like, just sing your song. Just sing your song. And then today, now where I am in my career, I've grown because I have just learned more about being an individual and a person and a human being. And like, you know what? I don't separate the two. Again, with my artistry, it's still the same person. Like, I I feel like my personality in actual, now, as opposed to back then, where it felt like such an act, like I was just really doing what I was told by a producer or a manager or an agent or anybody within that circle of like, they're telling you who you are as an artist. Whereas now, fast forward to where I am today as an artist and a person, is I decide all those things and I'm not afraid to say no to you anymore, even if it means you're not going to like me. Um, because back then, as an entertainer, I think I went through of like, oh, if they don't like me, if everyone doesn't like me, then I'm not going to sell music or I'm not going to be able to make a living doing this. So I have to make sure it is so difficult trying to do that, because you just like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? I just feel like and now I don't people please. I don't care. I just, if somebody has an opinion, I'll acknowledge and I'll be like, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And internally, I'm not agreeing or I am agreeing. I think people want to know what you're thinking. And like in some, they want to feel validated in some way. And to me, internally, I'm like, okay, how does this resonate with me on the inside? Do I like this or do I not? But we don't have to say that. Because I don't feel, and especially as an artist when you're making music, not everybody's going to like it. That is okay.
Well, I think that you've been forged in fire and have
Yeah.
a protective armor of judgmentless care and again, now look, you know more about music than me, but I'm going to go say stuff to you because I either want to impress you or shock you, or does that make sense? Like, you're the knight on the horse, man, and I'm just walking around with a bucket of water. So
See, I don't feel that way. I feel like I'll even meet young artists who are just starting out and like talk about something, and you're like, oh, like I never thought of that. Like I can implement that. I think we really do all have things that we can learn from each other. We just have to. Not everything is for us, but I love it when I meet an artist who is genuinely very passionate about what they do. But then again, you'll meet somebody who it almost seems like everybody's posturing. You know what I mean? But I guess I would take it back to is like maybe everybody's walking around feeling insecure because I know that's such a human behavior to feel insecure. Because
well, as an artist too, right? Because it's your expression, and this is the way you see it. And again, that chicken wing sauce, some people don't like spicy. Some people want it sweet, but you gave them a spicy song. And now that's your first impression, and like it's just too spicy for me. Yeah, and all you hear is "I'm too spicy." So you take that seeps through the armor and then burns the skin. But he's not gonna like anything hot. Doesn't matter if you like it. But you're an artist, so again, if you're not forged through that fire, I know it had to have been tough, but my man, like you've been forged to have that confidence, and it seems like you're trying to instill that into some of these younger artists to where passion, passion, make people make people feel something.
Yeah, make people feel something. And I think for any artist that wants to make music, remember why you are doing this in the first place. If it's because you want to be popular, that's not a good reason. If you're doing it,
Learn a TikTok dance.
yeah, if you're doing it because somebody else wants you to do it, that's not a good reason. You know, I, I always take it right back to this is personal. I'm doing this because it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love so much, and if I can't turn around and say that about myself and carry that over into my artistry, then there's no authenticity whatsoever. And that's not going to resonate for me.
Authenticity, I think we're kind of circling back to what we first talked about was
Yep.
having the same passion and the same energy, whether there's two people or 5,000 people in the room. And that's I think you just hit it right there.
Yep. Yep. I think you should put on the same show, regardless of anybody else being in the room. It has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you.
And that's the passion, man. And that's, and it shows when you perform, that shows. Now, you said you like some country music, and where are you originally from?
So I was born in Sarasota, and we moved to Nashville when I was just a kid. Lived there for a little bit, and then moved to Pennsylvania. And
Well, hold on, let's stop in Tennessee. What you said? How long were you in Tennessee for?
I was in Tennessee. Let's see, the first time I lived there maybe 2 years.
Long enough to pick up an accent when you want it. I heard it.
I'd say it's really funny because people will say like, "Where does your southern accent come from?" It's like, so people used to make fun of me so bad. So Florida is as far south as you could go. And now, before it was housing developments, and I remember cow pastures and when it was cow pastures and things like that. So it's very, very country, and it still is in areas that most people are not going, that didn't grow up in Florida. And let's see, we moved when I was maybe 11. So, but it's really funny because I would lose it, but my southern accent really comes out when I'm around people with a southern accent. Or I'll get around a friend, like my Mississippi friends, and that's southern.
I lived
southern accent from. I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're doing it.
Yeah, I lived in Northeast Tennessee for 12 years, so my kids still live there. So when I talk to them, the whole Carter County comes out.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been told from growing up in Pennsylvania, because the majority of my life I spent in PA, and so I even had people say you have a Pennsylvania accent. I have no idea what that means. I don't hear it. I don't hear it when I talk to friends or family who, they're all from Pennsylvania. I have no idea. I don't hear any accent in that regard, but I definitely know I have a southern accent sometimes.
Now, I got you. Say, I gotta wash my clothes.
I have to wash my clothes.
All right, them people up in wash. I gotta go wash my clothes.
Oh no, I haven't heard that.
I gotta go wash. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, so we made fun of them people on the other side of the border that washed their clothes.
Hey, there's people making fun of everybody and I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do it with. Do you say creek or crick?
I say creek.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I definitely say creek. But But I
My
think if
kids
I'm
say
not
heel.
thinking about it,
My
if
kids
I'm
say
not,
heel for a hill. It's over the heel.
oh no, no, I say no. I
And,
think. I
and
mean, when I sit think about it, I think that now if I'm in fast conversation and I'm not thinking about it,
and they
who
call me
knows what's
pal.
going
Hey pal,
on.
pal. Or
I know
pal,
some people
can you
say
help me,
water.
pal?
They say water instead of water.
What about
Um,
Jiff? For Jeff? Jiff.
Now that I because I have some friends who even the spelling of their name is it's Jeff, but it's spelled G off. You know what I mean? So like, and of course when they explain it to you that way, well then automatically my head goes to I just want to say G off now. Like can't unhear that.
Man, my spelling was horrible. Then I took Spanish in high school, and then there was no chance of getting me back because I went from 26 letters to 28. Well,
Well, you know, listen. I mean, so I was homeschooled a lot of my life too. So I always that's my running joke. I was going to ask if you were homeschooled too.
well, Aaron, my friend, man, it was great learning more about you, catching up. If we ever go get chicken wings, what kind of flavor you going to get on your chicken wing?
So I bet people make fun of me for this all the time. They're chicken nuggets. Apparently, I like boneless wings. I don't like to work to eat
So
my
you're a
food.
boneless guy. Okay, so you do boneless wings.
Boneless wings. I like a little bit of heat, but like I'm not going any hotter than like a sweet Thai chili. Oh, like I do like buffalo. I really like um, different flavors of barbecue. Like I had this blueberry barbecue sauce one time. It was
Blueberry barbecue.
so good,
Okay. Where'd you get
so
that
good.
at? What?
It's called Buffalo Wings and Rings, not to be confused with Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, that's one of
Barbecue
my favorite
blueberry,
sauces.
huh?
hmm Very good,
Nice. I might have to check that out.
definitely.
Well, Buffalo Wings and Things, here I come.
Rings.
On a Thursday, I'm going to get me some chicken wings tonight, Aaron. I appreciate you getting me hungry.
Hey, absolutely. I think we can always be hungry for chicken wings.
Hey, every night, man, just change up the sauces. You heard it first
That's
from
right.
here. So, next up is Caldy's Chicken Wing Shack. I'm going to have to launch that next quarter.
Sounds good to me. I'll
I'll
be
get you
there.
to come out and sing for us, man.
Yep,
And
sounds
we'll
good.
have barbecue blueberry will be our number one song.
Ooh, love it.
Aaron, if I want to find out more about you, how am I going to do that?
Well, you can check me out on definitely all of the social medias. I've got the TikToks, I've got the Facebook, I've got the Instagram. I've got it. Whatever platform. You can check my music out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon. Um, yeah, it's
Guys,
pretty
just
easy.
Google him all over the
Google me.
place.
Absolutely.
You're going to see him when he was a bit younger. Let me tell you, he is 10 times better today. Dude, I'm telling you,
I've
man.
grown a lot. Grown a lot.
You've grown. You got. Where are you performing at? I got a show with you coming up, don't I?
Yeah, July 13th,
July
Yucatan.
13th, down at Matlacha, Florida.
Yeah.
Have you been down to Matlacha?
No, this will be my first time. I have been down that direction. I have heard so Matlacha that's near Pine Island.
Pine Island. Yeah, Pine
I
Island
have
Road.
heard a lot of
Well,
things about Pine Island.
when I first started
I,
working for this place, right? I'm from Ohio, man, and they kept saying, "You know Matt Lachey," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know him."
yeah, that's actually what you said, and I was like, wait. Now I get
I'm playing it off. Oh yeah, I used to go to high school with his cousin, Matt Lachey. Yeah, real cool guy. Owes me $10
different
though.
place. Yeah, so that'll be and I play around a lot, so it'll also be up in if we're not in Florida, if you're watching from anywhere else, I'm going to be up in Watkins Glen, I have to say. Watkins Glen, not Ricketts Glen, Watkins Glen. New York. I'm going to be in Pennsylvania. I'm all over the map.
Just check out his socials. Check out his website. Aaron Kelly, guys, down at the Yucatan Waterfront, Matlacha, Florida. And I'm trying to talk him into playing with me October 25th at the first ever night market in music in Venice, Florida. Should be a good time. I think the mayor knows about this one. I'm not sure. I hope he got the memo that we're doing this.
Oh boy! Well, if he didn't, it's fine. We can still have our own little party. The mayor just doesn't get to come.
My man, it was great talking with you. Looking forward to working with you. And again, it was a pleasure, Aaron. Good talking with you.
Hey, good talking with you too. Thanks for having me.